gone, still on the ride. Mike and Needby, side by side, talking thrills from coast to coast, celebrating what we love the most. Turn it up, feel the vibe, join the thrill of this ride. Hold on tight, it's time to go. Here it is, Coaster Radio.
This is your announcer, Neil Patrick Harris. Welcome to the 20th anniversary season of Coaster Radio. Here are your hosts, my close personal friends, Mike Collins and E.B.
Hi, everybody, and welcome to the original theme park podcast. You are listening to Coaster Radio. My name is Mike. I'm here with my friend E.B., and we are ready to talk theme parks and thrill rides.
That's right, Mike. This is going to be a really exciting episode of CoasterRadio.com. I think one that people have been waiting for weeks and weeks and weeks since we started season 20 of CoasterRadio.com, the original theme park podcast. Mike, we are going to be playing in the second half of this week's episode of Coaster Radio, The Ultimate.
Oh, yes. We heard it on the listener surveys. We heard it through emails. We heard it from people that we just met at the parks. They wanted game shows to return. And I think throughout season 20, we're going to do all the favorites. We're going to do Theme Park Smarts. We're going to do Who Wants to Be a Coaster Boy. EBU came up with some great ones, too, that I've loved over the years. But tonight is a brand new one. And it's different than we've ever done before because it's not just a one-time thing. It's a game show that's going to have 5 rounds and 5 winners. And at the end of the season, this December, on the second to last show, we're going to bring all 5 of those winners together and have them go compete against one another to decide who is the ultimate.
That's right. This tonight is only round 1 of the 5 qualifiers, and so the ultimate is lasting the entirety of season 20 of Coaster Radio. We'll explain more of the rules and how it's going to work. If you are live.coasterradio.com right now, Wednesday night at 9 o'clock, you've got the opportunity to play. If it's not, it happened in the past and you'll have to wait for the next qualifying round. But that's right. Where we are. Every single week, you can watch us record the show, live.coasterradio.com. And Mike, if you want to watch the podcast and see the game show in action that the players are seeing, and you want to see me and Mike, don't forget the podcast is now also on YouTube Podcasts. So find Coaster Radio on YouTube, and you can watch us and all of the action as a video podcast. That's something brand new for season 20. Every episode is a video podcast on YouTube.
Yeah, and a lot of times we have some extras in the video podcast. Like, for instance, a couple weeks ago when we were talking roller coasters with Arthur Levine, as we talked about them, you saw video of the roller coaster animations playing as we talked about them. This week, you're definitely going to want to check out the YouTube version of this because you're actually going to see the game show graphics on the screen. And it's not just like some cheap, PowerPoint presentation stuff. Like, these are actually like really cool professional grade graphics that come up in real time with countdown timers and real time results of people playing. It's really great stuff. So make sure you check it out on YouTube Podcast. You can see us do the ultimate today. And the ultimate, the reason we call the game show that is because at the end of the season, we are going to find out who is the ultimate theme park fan, who is the ultimate coaster enthusiast, but also who is the ultimate fan of this podcast here on our 20th season.
The ultimate listener is going to be crowned at the end of this whole thing. So yeah, Mike, that's coming up in the second half of the show. And let's get there as quick as we can. Let's start with our first drop. Do some news so we can do the ultimate.
That's right. So here's something that I've been working on. I think I've told you this in the past here, EB. I'm working on this big trip to California that's coming up in April. My 50th birthday was this past weekend. And so, yes, there was some celebration, but the big celebration is going to happen when the weather's a little warmer and heading out to California, going to go stay on the coast. But of course, a big thing that I want to do is to take my 2 daughters to Disneyland.
Yes.
That is something that I've wanted to do for years and years and years, even before I had them.
Before you had daughters.
Yeah. I mean, like,
you wanted to take your kids to Disney.
Yeah, and I'm going to talk about this in a minute, but this is something that's important for what I'm going to say here in a minute. But I'm a dad later in my life, which is totally cool. I've come to grips with that. I had a little trouble with that at a certain point, but I've come to grips with it. The thing is, though, I went to theme parks for so long and was a little sad as I went to them because I was always thinking like, hey, it's fun to be here, but I really want to be here with children of my own, with my own kids. I mean, it was great being there at the parks, having a lot of fun riding all the roller coasters and stuff, but I really wanted to take my own children to a theme park one day. In the first marriage I was in, that wasn't in the cards, and that's totally fine. But, here I am now and very lucky to have, 2 little girls, and they're getting to the age where they like the parks and they like the princesses and stuff. So I'm thinking, how great is it going to be to finally get to go to Disneyland with my daughters? Because that's one of my favorite things to do. I love it. I think that's really cool. You know me as a fan of Walt Disney. It's cool to go to the park that he created. And
share it with the people you care about,
yes,
of course.
Right. And, and it's something I always wanted to do. And so it's like, the last time I was there was before I had kids. So it's interesting to go back now. And so I'm excited about that. So,
but we're getting to
here's
the but.
Here's the but. And the reason I bring that up is because I think that the Walt Disney Company counts on people like me because they know that going to the parks is really important to people. And they know that some people will go to the parks no matter what it takes. And there was an article in The Street that just came out. Okay. And it said, according to a survey from Lending Tree last year, 24% of consumers have gone into financial debt in order to fund a Disney trip. And for consumers who are parents of young children, that figure increased to 45%. So these people, EB, must be like in the same boat where they're like, well, this is something that's important to me. I really want to take my kids here while they're young. Even though I cannot afford it financially, I'm going to go into credit card debt to do it.
Yeah, I think that survey is less about how desperate people are to go to Disney and how people are not good at their personal finances.
Maybe,
you should not be going into debt to take an expensive vacation. The problem is it's not the same park as it was when you were 5 years old, Mike. Right? When you were a child going to the park, it's a very different experience. I went to the park when I was a kid, and I had great memories, and I wanted to share that with my kids. But how much were the tickets when I went in 1983? Right?
Oh yeah.
I went back in 1991 with my family as a teenager.
Yeah.
Yeah. And now what does it cost to be able to get to Disney? So it makes sense that if you feel that nostalgic draw to go to Disney now, you're going to pay for it.
Yeah.
And it takes a lot more effort and a lot more money.
Yeah, and the reason we're talking about this week is there's an article in the Wall Street Journal, I believe, and it's basically about how there's some people internally at Disney who are thinking that the pricing is getting out of hand. And they're talking about it internally, but there's a lot of things that are keeping the pricing going up and up. First of all, people are willing to pay it. I mean, but here's the interesting thing. Disney's fourth quarter earnings report just came out. Yes. And they revealed while revenue for the theme parks in the U.S. increased by 2% year over year, the operating income for the locations declined by 5%. And operating income is a company's profit after expenses. So they're starting to see, some things.
Well, they're reaching the limit, perhaps. Right?
They might be seeing it. Disneyland tickets increased their prices anywhere from $7 to $31, depending on the tickets. At Disney World, annual passes went anywhere from $30 to $100 higher. And tickets for the busy days in November and December increased by $10 to $15 as well. So here, and let me give you numbers for me. I've got numbers for you too, just to let you know.
I will say that I was gonna do for my Coasterdamus that by the end of the year we would see a $300 Disney ticket.
I wouldn't be surprised. Yeah.
What's your numbers?
Yeah, here's my numbers that I'm looking at 2 days at Disneyland.
Okay, so this is your trip planning, and you budgeted it out to see how much debt you're going to go into.
Yep, exactly.
Okay.
Yeah, so how much I've got to set aside. This is 2 days. So my youngest daughter is 2. She's not 3 yet, so she gets in free. So we're talking about 2 adults and a child under the age of 10.
Kid price.
Yes. and then one who's free. So with 2 days and no park hopping, but getting the lightning lane, because you need the lightning lane to make your day work, right? Especially on a busy day at Disneyland. $1,162 for 2 days. That's comes
park
down.
tickets.
Yeah, only park
Only.
tickets. That's not lodging. That's not food. That's not souvenirs. Any of the other stuff. That comes down to $581 per day, or $193.67 per person per day.
$200.
Yeah, there it is. If you did
$200.
if you did the park hopper though, like let's say you want to go to Disneyland and I want to go over and see World of Color at night, that's $1,417. That's with the park hopper. That comes down to $708.50 each day, or $236.17 per person per day.
Whew. That's a lot. That's a lot, Mike.
man.
I just saw there's a cheap flight. I get flight alerts, for places I want to go, and I saw a flight alert pop up for June to go to LA for like $152, which is pretty great for a direct flight from Indianapolis to LA.
Yeah.
And I was like, all right, I could pop over there and I could do the Universal VIP tour with my kids.
Yeah.
Right. So that's going to be 3 of us. And that's like $475 each for the VIP. But oh my gosh, how much fun would that be?
Oh, it's so
Same
worth
thing
it
though.
too.
It's like, is it worth it though? I don't know if it's worth it or not, because like you're halfway to a really a cheap car.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. I mean,
Right?
that's the thing.
You're halfway to a used car for your kid.
Yeah. I mean, think about it though. If I pull the trigger on park hopper passes with the lightning lane, $1,400, how much am I talking about for food that day and the souvenirs you have to buy and the extra things? You're probably looking at $1,000 a day. Probably, right?
Well, and that's why I do think the Universal VIP is you got to factor that in too, because you get all your meals.
Yeah,
You get a breakfast and you get a lunch.
Right.
And
right.
you get to cut the line for the rest of the day.
Yeah.
So you can add all that up. I don't know. When you start adding up the food and then you're like, well, where are we going to stay? And the hotel or the Airbnb is going to be at least $200 a night plus. And then, well, are we flying out there? Because now I got to buy plane tickets.
Yeah.
And especially with you're taking a kid, you're going to have to check your bag. It's going to be another $60.
Yeah. There you go.
And then you're going to have to Uber from the airport. And then, I mean, you start getting up into the thousands and thousands of dollars. And like I said, that's what I was calculating out, like to do a summer trip with my kids. And I got 2 teenagers and I was like, we could take a summer vacation to the West Coast, or I could buy them a car.
right.
You know what I mean? And when you get to those kinds of numbers, it starts to be kind of silly.
Oh, yeah. So anyway,
Are prices too high? That's the question.
Yeah, that's the thing. So it's an interesting article in the Wall Street Journal to talk about there. Also interesting to note that, Disney raised the subscription fee on Disney Plus and immediately lost the 700,000 subscribers. So with the parks being one of the few profitable centers for Disney, I don't see them listening to the internal people who are saying, hey, it's getting too high. They're going to be like, well, we're going to keep it rising until
they want to find that line, and maybe they're getting close to it. If they're seeing the revenue slip, but they're definitely going to find how much they can charge to keep it going. Yeah. And all those people that left Disney Plus, they're just going to get back on Disney Plus as soon as there's something else that they want. Right. Because everybody's like, oh, well, there's something cool on Paramount now, and jump over there and then cancel that one and go back over there. You hop around. Right.
Yeah, exactly. So anyway, I got to figure out what to do, EB, but this is the time where if there's anybody out there who works at Disney, hey, I've got like free tickets that I don't use. Hey, your old pal Mike could use them.
Help a brother out.
Yeah, help a brother out.
Right.
50th birthday present right there, man. Hang on, where's that ding? I got to get the thing Matt gave us. Hang on. Yeah, there you go.
There it is. Nice. All right, Mike, we got some more news to get to before the ultimate. Let's hit some quick hits.
Quick hits.
I like the look at this because we're always talking about the new Six Flags Corporation killing a lot of roller coasters and rides. We'll talk about that here in a minute, but at least according to El Toro Ryan, we've got some good news about El Toro at Six Flags Great Adventure. He says the ride is undergoing a multi-year retracking project. In 2025, the park has already rebuilt 20 track pieces. And then in 2026, 82 brand new track rails from Intamin are going to be placed on the ride. And that will follow with more in 2027 and maybe even more after that.
That's right. So they're doing work in 3 of the next off seasons, and this is that prefab Intamin track that's going to be installed, I think, and this is going to breathe new life into El Toro when people are excited, because El Toro had a couple of bad years there, right? With the derailment and the roughness. Right. And it was like, are they just going to tear the thing down? Well, no, this is showing you that Six Flags is willing to stick with El Toro and invest in it and bring it back to what it ought to be. So this is all good news.
Yeah. So I think we should watch the parks this year and watch for things like that. I mean, a scene like that means El Toro, like you said, he'd be going to be around for a while. But then there's a rumor coming out of Screamscape, and
I don't like this.
Lance says that he has no proof of this. It's just a rumor that he's hearing. But a lot of times when Lance hears rumors, they start becoming more than rumors. So I always listen when Lance says he has a rumor.
Stop talking about this, because I don't want it to happen.
Yeah, I know. So he's talking about, the Six Flags company taking a look at older rides that are kind of maintenance nightmares and maintenance problems. He's talking about both Flight of Fear indoor launch roller coasters at Kings Dominion and Kings Island, possibly hitting the chopping block, maybe at the end of the 2025 season, or maybe sometime in 2026. I don't know what you think about that, EB. I have thoughts about it, but what do you think?
I don't like it at all. Flight of Fear is amazing, both at Kings Island and at Kings Dominion. I've got great memories of both of these, and I think they still work. I think they still do their job just fine. I think if you had this same Premier Rides spaghetti bowl launch coaster like Poltergeist in Texas, is that right? Where it's just outdoors, it doesn't work. It's rough and it's not fun. But when you put it inside a spaceship and it's themed and it's in the dark and it's fantastic, it doesn't matter if it's rough, because that's the whole point. Is you are being sucked into this experimental spaceship research facility. I can't even remember the storyline, but it's wonderful. They need to, we've talked about this with Jungle Expedition at Kings Dominion. They need to pull it into that area and have the spaceship crashed in a jungle, right? And then it's like Predator. It would be fantastic like that.
From what I understand, though, and maybe I'm wrong, and maybe some fans of Kings Dominion can step up and let us know what's going on, but aren't they already doing that for this season? And that makes me wonder, why would they even spend money on incorporating it into Jungle Expedition if they're getting rid of the ride?
Oh, right. Yeah, that doesn't make any sense. And why would you get rid of the ride? Is it a maintenance nightmare? I don't know if it is.
I don't know. And even if it isn't maintenance nightmare, how much is it to replace the launch system? I mean, maybe that's like way too, almost as expensive as the roller coaster itself, but you would think there's new technology that's less wear and tear, the same technology that's being used on the modern launch roller coasters. I don't know. Maybe you could just save it that way, because it's a cool indoor ride with a cool theme.
Yep.
That could be totally enhanced. I don't know. I say keep it. I love that ride, man. There's so many things I love the mirror that's up there that makes it look like a complete saucer inside. That's so great.
Oh, the whole thing is designed so well.
I love when, we've said it before, but I love when you're waiting in line, it launches with people and then it comes back around and it's got no one in it. And I think that's fun.
That's for cool. Anybody who's never ridden one of these Flight of Fears, either at Kings Dominion or Kings Island, look it up and check it out. It's a roller coaster that's in a building, and the conceit is that they've built this hangar over a spaceship that they've captured.
Yeah.
And this, there, you go through and there's scientific equipment everywhere inside this hangar. That's where the queue lines are. And then you see these security monitors and things all over the place. And you watch a pre-roll of sort of a pre-show of the scientists discussing what's going on with the captured spaceship. And then they talk about how there's a tour that's coming through the facility and how those people shouldn't be there. And they're talking about you. And then at one point in the pre-roll video, they actually cut to a live camera of the queue line with you in it.
I love it.
Literally put you into the pre-show video. Anyway, and then you actually go inside this spaceship, and that's where the load station is. And it takes you away.
I love it.
Yeah, it's so great. Into the dark.
It's so fun. And they did good work with that ride. Like when it first opened, it had the over-the-shoulder restraints, which used to bang your ears and stuff. But they got rid of that, and it's lap bar only. Just made the thing a lot of fun. And, a lot of dark indoor roller coasters don't do it well, but this one was pretty dark, and they had just enough like spooky light in there and stuff. It was, really cool. So I hope they don't get rid of that.
Yeah.
Speaking of a ride they're getting rid of, though, is Kingda Ka. I don't know. Did you see the photos? Like, all that's standing right now is the tower. They've gotten rid of all the rest of the track. It's gone.
Yeah, it's all gone. They chopped up everything on the ground, and they chopped up the whole track. Now it's just the tower that's left. And I guess they're going to detonate that and knock it over that way.
Yeah.
Which I guess is fine. I mean, it's not nearly as spectacular as, our idea of launching a train and then detonating it.
Remember, that was your idea.
They said sometime the permit, I guess, extends through the 16th, which will be Sunday. So we are anticipating, I mean, if this episode of Coaster Radio is dropping on the 13th, it might already be gone. If not, it's going to be, today, tomorrow, or the next day.
I'm surprised, though, that Six Flags Great Adventure isn't turning that into an event, like something you can watch online.
Invite season pass holders, and they set up some bleachers in the parking lot.
Oh, that'd be cool. But even
why not?
Even to live stream it, like have a reporter out there and have it from multi angles that you could watch. Even charge $1 a piece and you donate it to charity.
They'll capture it on video. It'll be up on. It'll be
yeah.
We'll see.
I was surprised at how much it costs, though, to detonate it. According to the the paperwork for this, it's $1.7 million to detonate.
Was that for is that the full demo or just the detonation?
I think that's for the implosion. I think
that's just for the implosion itself.
Yeah. Wow.
Man, I'll do it for a lot cheaper than that.
Yeah. You'll get some fireworks out there and make it go. Yeah.
Yeah, we got fireworks in Indiana. I'll bring them to Jersey.
Yeah. What a weird world we're living in, though, where Kingda Ka's being imploded. I thought that wouldn't happen for another 30 years or so. Just weird.
Right. Yeah, that it would stay around forever. The king, the Kingda Ka is fallen, literally.
Yeah. That's only 20 years, man. That's not a lot. So.
How about this next one here, Mike? Speaking of longevity, looks like we're gonna have to wait longer for a robot Walt Disney.
Yes, this was a story that just broke today as we were getting ready to record the show. They're doing this audio animatronic show at Disneyland in the Great Moments with Mr. Lincoln Theater, and it's going to be Walt Disney in his office talking to you about the dream that is Disneyland. It was supposed to open on
July 17th for the 70th anniversary, right?
Well, no, it was supposed to open early in May, on May 16th, but now
before, okay.
Yeah, now they're actually saying it will open on the resort's actual anniversary, July 17th, 2025. So
okay, no, I see it. Yeah, on the 16th, right?
Yeah,
Walt Disney: A Magical Life opening May 16th, pushed back 2 months.
2 months
to line up the park's birthday. Okay,
yep. So that's fine. I guess it makes sense to open it on the park's birthday, but.
Well, they want it to work.
Yeah, they want it to work. They don't want it to, him to go, fall over. I saw the Na'vi shaman woman, just stop working on that river ride at Animal Kingdom, and that just looked terrible.
They've got to get it so when he takes a puff from his cigarette, you got to get that cigarette right into his mouth. It's got to be just right.
How great would it be if they had him smoking in there? Because that dude smoked all the time. That dude smoking packs a day. But yeah, that'd be great if they did that, and they could actually get the smoke to come out. That'd be cool.
Actually make him smoke a cigarette. It's the world's first smoking animatronic.
I know. I mean,
I wonder if that's true. Anybody out there know of an animatronic that smokes?
Oh, good question. Yeah,
there could be one.
They would never do it, but that would be realistic. Although he never did it on TV, I guess. But still, yeah.
Cool.
Oh, Walt.
All right. Speaking of animatronics, what is this thing?
Look at this. So Epic Universe opening in less than 100 days. Just this past week was the 100-day mark. And things are just getting, talked about left and right, like things we didn't know were coming. And a local news station was flying their newscopter over the How to Train Your Dragon area. And they've got footage of an animatronic. I guess it's Dart the Dragon. And at first I couldn't tell, is this an animatronic or is this a bunch of people in a suit?
It totally could be a costume, but then when you watch it, it's one of those robot dogs.
Yes.
Mike.
Yep. Yeah. But it's huge.
The way it walks is absolutely one of those robot dogs that you've seen YouTube videos of for years that are scary. Yep, that's what it is.
This is pretty giant because you see a person standing next to it, and it's big. So I'm excited for this. I mean, if these are the type of things we're going to see throughout the park, like this level of immersion, this level of.
I mean, that's really cool.
Yeah,
and they picked the right dragon because the way that those robots move is kind of cute.
Yes,
and so they picked the cute dragon for that.
Yeah,
that's a good choice.
But I like they took the small version and made it big, And, you can see the person who's going to be walking around with it. It's very, very cool stuff. So
Very
just
cool.
another cool thing to look forward to at Epic Universe in less than 100 days. And finally, you've got some news here, right, EB, about Kentucky Kingdom?
Yeah, so Kentucky Kingdom, we all know about the new family land that's coming to Kentucky Kingdom. They're retheming a whole chunk of Kentucky Kingdom to be called Discovery Meadow is what we're calling it now. And they released a video that not only talks about the 3 rides that are coming, the kiddie rides. There's the train ride, there's a cute jumping squirrel ride, and there's a bird ride, but also the renaming essentially of all of the other rides that are in this part of the park. And we're not talking about a little tiny kiddie land. We're talking about a significant chunk of Kentucky Kingdom that is becoming what they're calling Discovery Meadow. And the video release, and I don't know if I can play the video and you can actually hear it, Mike, but I'm going to try and turn my volume up on this.
Oh, okay.
So that you can hear this woman's super duper saccharine. It's the greatest place ever.
Let me hear this.
Let's see if we can get that.
This 2025 season, beauty and fun times abound with the introduction of the all-new Discovery Meadow, a perpetual garden party with
The Discovery Meadow. Oh my God.
Yes,
It's so
she's
great.
very happy, very excited.
Yeah, she's very happy. But yeah, so we're going to be renaming some of the roller coasters in this area. So the Mile High Plunge is staying the same, but everything else is getting a new name, including the roller skater, the kiddie coaster, is going to become Holly Hawk and Roll,
Oh, okay, nice.
which is a horrible name.
Yeah.
Thunder Run is going to become Woodland Run, which is interesting.
Yeah.
And
all right.
because Thunder Run, that's why they built Lightning Run, is to be also Thunder Run, right?
Right.
And this is the wooden roller coaster. That's the, I believe it's a Mirror of Hurler, I want to say.
Mhm.
And then Storm Chaser, the old RMC that's all the way in the back that replaced Wicked Twister, is going to be called Wind Chaser instead of
Oh.
Storm Chaser,
Huh. All right.
which I guess works. And then
Sure.
if you watch that video, if you're interested in seeing this, they do go into like how adorable it's going to be, and you walk through the lush gardens, and there's flowers everywhere, and the trees, and blah blah blah. So this is Herschend, I think, putting in that effort that you see at Dollywood and Silver Dollar City
Yeah.
into Kentucky Kingdom. So if they
Yeah.
really are going to try to plus Kentucky Kingdom, this could be really, really cool, right? It reminds me of Wildwood Grove at Dollywood,
Uh-huh.
where it's got stuff for the big kids, stuff for the little kids. And if they do it right and they really clean up that area of the park, it could be really, really nice. So
Yeah.
good on Kentucky Kingdom. Looking forward
Cool.
to seeing it.
Good quick hits this week. Lots going on.
Yeah, very
good.
cool.
Yeah.
All right. We're going to take a break here, Mike, I think, and do the ultimate, but I do want to open up the CoasterRadio.com mailbag.
When the packages start to flow, Mike and EB say hello. Sending letters to the show, don't you wait. Oh, it's mailbag time, hooray. Join the fun, let's hear what you say.
It's your favorite part of the show. Actually, no. You said on the survey that you don't like it or the song.
Well, you know what? But people said they would like the mailbag segment if they could watch it on video.
If they could watch it. So now you're watching it. So stop
you can
complaining.
see it.
All right,
Yeah,
so this
you
is
can
it.
see
Here
it.
we go. Remember, the mailbag is P.O. Box 3399, Bloomington, Indiana, 47402. And the first envelope, it's what everybody loves. It's a big fat envelope of maps.
Park maps. Uh-oh.
And a short note. Hey, Mike and EB, here's a bunch of mainly U.S. park maps I neglected to include in my last mailing to you, which mostly consisted of foreign park maps. I'm sending the following to share with interested Snail Mail Club members: Lagoon, Waldemere, Lost Island, Knoebels, Tivoli, Port Aventura, Legoland Florida, Adventure Dome, Legoland New York, and Little America.
Wow.
Yes, I get around. LOL. Keep up the good work. Best, Ken from Brooklyn.
Nice.
And Mike, he did send me Lagoon. I think I've said this on the podcast before. Lagoon has my favorite park map, and they still do. And the one that Ken sent is in really good shape, so I'm going to keep this one. This might be the one that I actually put in a frame because
Oh,
it's my
nice.
favorite
Okay.
park map. If you haven't seen the Lagoon park map, you should. It's awesome. And this one's great too. The Legoland Florida map. I love this style. Look at that.
Oh, that is cool. Yeah. That is very nice.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right. So there you go. Thanks, Ken. So Ken mentioned the Snail Mail Club. You can get park maps sent to you, plus other fun things in the mail, if you join the CoasterRadio.com Patreon. Go to
Yes.
patreon.com/CoasterRadio. There's perks, there's bonus content. I send you a thank you note in the mail just for joining. And then you get a birthday present on your birthday. It all depends on what tier you're at. So check out all the different pledge levels. Go to patreon.com/coasterradio. This is one from Stacy.
Oh,
and
good.
Stacy, she said, "Did you get my thing in the mail?" And I was like, "Yeah, we're going to open it next week. Calm down." I sent Stacy, just joined Patreon at the Snail Mail Club level, and I sent Stacy this really fun. I had found at a gift shop these like a balsa wood thing that you can punch out the shapes and then assemble the thing.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
And it was just a little one, like the size of a large greeting card, but you punch out the shapes and it made a little robot that on his belly it said "thank you." And so I sent that, and I said, "Thank you for joining the Patreon." Well, look what Stacy sent us, Mike. This is so much fun.
Oh, and actually, I think it's Becky, because she's in the chat room right now.
Oh,
She
Becky
says,
Stacy. Oh my
yes,
gosh, Becky
Stacy is her last name. Yep.
Okay,
Mhm.
Becky Stacy. I was reading the return address on the outside of the envelope. Dear Mike and EB, your recent Patreon gift to my husband of the little wood computer guy got me thinking about designing something for you. I have a 3D printer and I like to create designs on a CAD program. And one of my favorite things is to make little kit cards similar to what you sent to Scott.
Oh.
Bench the Ride immediately came to mind. So I hope you enjoy putting it together as much as I did making it. And look at this, Mike. It is, you punch out the pieces of, it's flat and there's two of them.
Mm-hmm.
And then you punch it out, and there it is. It says "Bench the Ride" on it, and you have to punch out each slat of the bench.
Yes.
And then the supports of the bench. And then the way that Becky designed this, it's a bench that's red with white lightning bolts, and it has over-the-shoulder restraints when you assemble it.
That's great. I love it. That's so cool. And she was asking us if it would be okay to post that so that people with 3D printers could download it and make them themselves. And of course, I think that's great.
Absolutely. So so if you want to go and see Becky and Scott's other creations, it's makerworld.com/en. And then their username is @CliffRose. I guess we'll have to post that up on the Discord and stuff.
Yeah, that's
for people to be able to find it who have 3D printers. And then you can print out and assemble your very own Bench the Ride. So this is a good mailbag, Mike. So stop complaining to people.
Thank
you
you
can keep
so much.
Complaining about the song, but don't complain about what we get.
I know, right? Yeah. And you know what? Here's what I always say, man. And although I don't know if I want to say it or not, but so here's the thing: if people don't like the mailbag song, you're welcome to try to come up with one of your own. The thing is, sometimes we get sent things that we don't necessarily think fit on the show. So like, you're welcome to try, but don't.
The audience is pretty harsh too.
Yes, I know. The audience is pretty rough.
Mike and EB are going to judge you, but the audience is going to judge you even more so.
Yes, you get. Yeah, I mean,
and sometimes they disagree with us because I like the Ushka Ushka Let's Go Somewhere Together song. That was great.
But the audience,
they didn't. They weren't into it.
Yeah, they vetoed. So you're welcome to give it a try. Just know that it's not as easy as you might think. So. But we're always happy to audition things and take a listen and see if it works on the show. So we'll see.
I'm going to spend the rest of the show assembling this Bench the Ride.
Oh, good. Do it. So we'll take a break give you time to do that, EB. We'll run a few ads. Maybe you can build Bench the Ride in that time. But when we come back, you've got to set that aside because we need all your attention, EB, because it is time for round 1 of The Ultimate. It's our 20th anniversary game show. That is unlike anything we have ever done before, and it's coming up right after this.
This is Coaster Radio. Welcome back to the 20th anniversary season of Coaster Radio. Here are your hosts, Mike Collins and EB.
Welcome back, everybody, to the original theme park podcast. You are listening to Coaster Radio. My name is Mike. I am here with EB, and we are just moments away from round 1 of our most ambitious game show ever. We're calling it The Ultimate.
Yeah, this is going to be a lot of fun, Mike, and this is going to be one of those nice, highly produced game shows. So without further ado, I am going to set aside my Bench the Ride. Maybe I can work on it while we're doing questions and things, but
there we go. Yes,
let's do this. People have been waiting for it. It's time to play.
Do you have what it takes to be the ultimate?
Welcome, everybody, to round 1 of The Ultimate. here at the CoasterRadio.com podcast, a special game show for our 20th anniversary. EB, I gotta say, we've done game shows throughout the history of Coaster Radio, but this game is called The Ultimate, and
For a reason.
It's named that for a reason. These are going to be questions that are going to truly fry the minds of even the most seasoned roller coaster and theme park enthusiast.
This was the idea, right? Because we have done lots of games in the past, right? Theme Park Smarts, Know Your Coaster Boy, all of these. And I feel like they were sort of for everybody. But it's the 20th season of CoasterRadio.com. And we have a lot of folks saying, I've been listening to you guys for all 20 years. I've been listening for so long. I love it. And I go to the parks all the time because of you guys. And it's like, okay, prove it. Who is the ultimate theme park fan that listens to Coaster Radio?
Yes.
Because that's the thing. Is we kind of got both happening here in this contest, right? The ultimate that we are doing. And again, the ultimate goes all season long. So this is the first round of the ultimate. We are having 6 total.
Yes,
but
absolutely. Absolutely. This is fantastic because there are going to be, I believe, 5 total rounds, EB. 5 total rounds throughout the season. Yep. And we are going to do one every month. And the winner of each round will advance to the final. And that is, I think, the second to last episode of season 20. That's going to be in December of this year. That's where all 5 winners of each of the rounds go head to head to head to head to head. And it's going to be a bonanza of trivia and knowledge. It's going to be crazy. But that's where we will decide who is not only the ultimate theme park fan, but also the ultimate roller coaster enthusiast, and also the ultimate fan of our show.
That's right. All 3. You are the ultimate for this, the ultimate game. And again, 5 rounds that are qualifier rounds. So the winner tonight is going to move on. And then we're going to do that every other month up until the very end of the calendar year, when we will finally have the final showdown of all of the qualifiers. And Mike, I feel like we've got we haven't quite decided exactly what the prizes are, but we do kind of know what the main prize is.
Oh, yes. Yeah, there are going to be a ton of great prizes. We're talking offline about some actual like money style prizes, even like tickets to parks, all that stuff. There's going to be a big grand prize at the end of all of this. But EB, I love your idea for what's going to be the crown, sort of like, not a crown like Prince Mike Collins, but something you can wear that shows you are the ultimate.
Yes, we are going to go back to our old days of the CoasterRadio.com meetups, where we did a skee ball championship and everybody won a skee ball loser shirt because everybody lost except one person.
Right.
So we are doing that again. There is going to be the ultimate loser shirts for all of the qualifiers. And then, Mike, I think we're going to do like a really nice ultimate winner, one of a kind Coaster Radio shirt.
So great.
It's going to be great.
But EB, it's not even about the prizes, I think. In this case, it's about bragging rights to say that you are the ultimate on the Coaster Radio podcast here on the 20th anniversary. So
yes,
let's get into how this is going to work. If you were listening to this on the podcast, well, it's too late for you. You should have been with us on our live look-in webcast, which we do every Wednesday night at 9 p.m. Eastern. You can go to live.coasterradio.com. We are going to announce the other rounds down the road, but what everybody has done is they have gone onto their phone, onto a special link that we are putting up on the live webcast. They're entering their name, and then they are going to be able to play along with us live via their cell phone as they watch the webcast. So what we are going to do, we've got 10 questions ready to go. They range in points from 100 at the very beginning all the way up to 750 points. But then, EB, the last 2 questions, you can actually wager as many points as you have.
Oh, so you're never shut out.
Yes, you're never shut out. Like, okay. Even if you just have a few points, you can wager them all and maybe like jump ahead of the leaderboard. So we are going to know the leader at the end of each question, so we can kind of see who's at the top, who's moving up. So it's going to be very, very interesting. Here's how it works, though. We've got 10 questions. Each question you have 25 seconds to answer. If you answer right away, you get the maximum amount of points. But if you wait and you're trying to figure out what the answer is,
we're trying to cheat and look it up.
That's right. If you try to look it up on Google, that's not going to work, because as the time ticks down, so do the points.
Right.
So you got to answer correctly, but you got to answer fast as well. And you should, if you are the ultimate.
Yeah, you should know these right off the top of your head and type them in. You get the answer right away. You get all the points. But like Mike said, as the timer ticks down after each question, the points are also ticking down. And Mike, we should say, if you're listening to this podcast right now, thank you very much for listening to Coaster Radio with your favorite podcatcher app or whatever it is that you're listening with. But if you go to YouTube and find Coaster Radio, you can watch the video podcast and you can play along right with the listeners and see what they see on their screens as they're playing here live Wednesday night at 9 o'clock.
That is so true. That is so true, because that's something that we're doing here on the 20th anniversary. We're putting all of our podcast episodes on YouTube with video. So the neat part about the Ultimate and all the game shows that we're playing this year, it's actually got some pretty cool graphics that go along with it. It's almost like a video game show that you can see. Like, so the people who are playing right now actually are going to see some pretty, interactive graphics, colors, all going by, all types of great stuff. So
yeah, we're not just doing like a chat room thing. We actually have this really sweet game app that we have launched that people can access and play as we are doing the game here live on Wednesday at 9 p.m. But yeah, if you're listening, maybe you want to wait and watch the show or come back and watch the show again.
Yes.
On YouTube. Find us, Coaster Radio, on YouTube.
Yeah, and we'll put all of these links out on not only YouTube, but also on Instagram and Facebook and all those things. So,
Ultimate round
are
one,
you
Mike.
ready? It is
I'm
time,
ready.
EB. Round 1 of the Ultimate starts right now.
Do you have what it takes to be the ultimate?
All right, everybody, question number 1. What park is having their drop tower removed this off-season? Is it A, King's Dominion, B, Carowinds, C, Six Flags Discovery Kingdom, or D, Busch Gardens Tampa Bay?
All right, I answered it pretty quick. I think we'll see if I know this one. Because Mike, you wrote these questions. I have not. And time is ticking away. 25 seconds to answer. There's only 10 seconds left. The points are ticking down. It started with 100 points. And now as it goes to 0 on the timer, the points also go to 0.
Yes.
And let's see the answers revealed, Mike.
Time is out. So here's what's interesting. What we can do, we can go to this screen right here, and we can see how everybody answered. So you can see 29% of the audience said King's Dominion, 47% said Carowinds, 21% said Six Flags Discovery Kingdom, and 3% said Busch Gardens Tampa Bay. The correct answer is B, Carowinds.
Yes.
And now we can see who is at the top. You can see Blue Diamond Coasters in at 95 points, tied
slow.
with Leslie, also at 95 points. And look, a lot of people in first. John Brown, Cosman, Leon, DJ Dog, a lot of people up at 95 points. So we've got a tight race already here, EB.
You got to be quick. So no, this is the thing. I got the answer right, but I'm like the third slowest to get it right. So
right. And
I'm
that's
way
the
down
thing.
there. I'm like 15th place.
That's the thing about being the ultimate, right? Because you've got to be fast and you've got to be right. So
All right.
if everybody is ready, let's go to question number 2 here
ready.
on the Ultimate. At what park did Mike and EB ride a drop tower live on the air? Was it A, King's Dominion, B, Bigfoot on the Strip, C, Six Flags Magic Mountain, or D, Knoebels? EB, you were there on this one, so this is an easy one for you.
I'm thinking about it, and I think there might be 2 answers.
Yeah, really? On the air, though. You got to remember, on the air.
We will discuss.
Okay, we'll discuss this, but I know only one was actually when the podcast was live. Time just ran out. Let's go ahead and show everybody what the audience voted. 33% saying King's Dominion, 36% saying Bigfoot on the Strip, 15% saying Six Flags Magic Mountain, and 15% saying Knoebels. Are we going to argue about this? Because I put in that the correct answer was Bigfoot on the Strip. That's where we did it live.
100% the answer is Bigfoot on the Strip. And I know some people are saying King's Dominion because they remember Mario.
Oh, yes,
Right?
yes, but...
We captured audio, but that was not for Coaster Radio.
No,
that was
no.
for something else. We just played that audio on the podcast. But
Yes.
why am I feeling like we did not do live as a part of the podcast? Because I remember at Bigfoot on the Strip, we actually had the wireless microphones in the queue line, the whole thing, right? Because we were recording in real time. But I feel like we recorded audio at Knoebels on the drop tower.
No, I think we wrote it, but I know that we never actually
recorded audio on it.
Yeah, did audio on it. Yep. So
well, I got this one right, so I'm happy. So let's see the results.
Yes. So let's see where we are. This is like the fun part of it here, right? We can see. Oh, now Liam has moved into first place with 191 points, followed by Cosman at 189, followed by DJ Dog at 186. And then if you're watching us on YouTube, you can see all the other scores there. So it's close. The people have not separated themselves yet. So
not yet. Oh, and I was fast enough. I'm up to 6th place now. I'm happy. Okay,
that's great.
I was
so
fast.
If you are ready, EB, let's go ahead and see question number 3 on the Ultimate. Who designed the big one at Pleasure Beach Resort? Was it A, John Wardley, B, Donnelly Williams, C, Ron Toomer, or D, none of the above?
As a 100% guess on my part. So this one started at 200 points, is that right, or 250?
This one now is the first one where we have 250 points.
So the last ones were 100 points each. This one is worth 250 points, which means every second that goes by, the point value drops by 10.
Yes, and
so
now they're at 0.
You cannot Google this and expect to get points. No,
wait,
you have to know it. Let's see who knew it, Mike. I don't even know it. I guessed John Wardley. That sounds British.
That does sound British, right? So let's go ahead and see what everybody said here.
Dang it.
8% saying Wardley, 10% saying Donnelly Williams, 10% saying none of the above, but 73% saying Ron Toomer. And that is the correct answer, EB. Let's go ahead and see who's ahead. Dale from Dayton jumps into first place, followed by John Brown and Liam in third place. But again, those guys are all at the 400-point range. But man, there are people who are like at 300, 200. So, the game is still tight, which is very good.
Okay, at least Ron Wardley, John Wardley is a British coaster designer, so I did at least get that close.
That's right. And see, that's what's tough about this game.
Yeah, that, Nemesis.
Like I would have thought that too. Like British coasters would be that guy. So
okay, he sounded British, but no, I got that one wrong. So what's my rank now? I'm way down the list. I'm sure because I got it wrong.
Where are you? Let's see. I can look for you. EB.
Is it even coming up? It's way down there.
Right now I see you. Not even in the top 20 though. There. EB.
Oh boy.
I don't know. I'm waiting to see it. Your name comes up here on the list. Let's see. Oh, actually, I think you're in
30th.
30th.
I'm 30th. Okay, let's keep going.
Yeah.
Move on.
All right,
I'm going to catch up.
Question number 4 of the Ultimate. Again, for 250 points, what location was the second stop on the Pennsylvania amusement park road trip for CoasterRadio.com? Was it Kennywood, Hershey Park, Knoebels, or Dorney Park?
I feel like I got this one wrong.
This is a hard one, right?
I do know it was one of those 4.
It definitely was. But you've got to remember back to what order did we go in. This is very difficult. You might be able to name the parks we went to, but can you name the order and even then realize what was the second one? That's very difficult. Yeah. And time is up. Let's see. I'm curious if people know this.
I feel like
I
want to say that Hershey was first and then Dorney Park.
All right, so let's see what people thought here, EB. 8% saying Kennywood, 44% saying Hershey Park, 26% saying Knoebels, and 23% saying Dorney Park. The correct answer was Dorney Park.
Nice. Okay, good.
So 9 people getting that right there. Yes. So the order that we went in was Hershey Park week 1.
I thought Hershey was first. Yep.
Dorney Park week 2.
Yep.
Knoebels week 3, and then Kennywood.
Was Kennywood last? See, I would have gotten those 2 flipped. Okay.
Yep. Yeah, so that's how we did that. So
got that one right, though, and I was fast.
Yeah, you were fast. So let's see if you moved up, but also let's see who's in the top 3 here. Ryan from MKE coming out of nowhere at 510 points. Alex at 507, and Holden at 494. So this is interesting, isn't it? Because we're getting new leaders every time. I think people are jumping in, and each question has higher points.
Right. So even the folks, I know that we did, I'm watching the chat room here and some people were dropping in at like question 2 and 3. Is it too late to join the game? And those had the lower point values, right? And we're talking about some big points coming up. So I think the leaderboard is going to start to really spread out point wise. And we're already starting to see that. I've got 400 points and I'm ranked 6th, but Ryan in first place has over 500.
Yeah.
And we're only, what are we, 4 questions in?
Yeah, we're only 4 questions in. What are we going to do, though, if you if you win, I don't know what we're going to do at that point. So we'll
I know exactly what we're going to do. I'm going to win this whole thing, Mike. And then I don't have to pay shipping to send out prizes.
There you go. That's true.
That's my prize.
What if you win every round and then the game is just over? That could happen. You never know. Because for real, everybody, EB does not know the questions in advance. That's what kind of makes this fun. So anyway, let's keep going with question number 5 here on The Ultimate. According to RCDB, how many coasters by Bolliger and Mabiard have been built or are under construction? Is it A, 120 coasters, B, 130 coasters, C, 140 coasters, or D, 150 coasters?
I thought it was more than all of those.
I was curious about this, and this is according to RCDB, but it is one of those numbers. And I know this is difficult, man, because like 120, 130, 140, and 150, they're not that far apart. So you really have to kind of zero in, and this is almost a lucky guess, I think. Yeah. Yeah, so it's tough, right? Let's go ahead and see what people thought. And I have a feeling it's going to be like across all the answers. And, well, look at that, though. People kind of zeroing in. 43% saying 130, 43% saying 130. So 130 and 140 both getting 43%. Let's see what the correct answer is. It's actually C, 140 coasters. Yeah. Wouldn't you think it would be more? For some reason, I thought it was going to be like 500, but
no,
RCDB,
I was feeling 200 for some reason. I don't know where that was coming from in my brain, so I just went right for the 150.
Yeah,
to try to be quick about it.
Like I said, though, these are the hardest questions we've ever had in a game show, even more than when we did the Who Wants to Be a Coaster Boy, I think. These are very difficult, but that's part of the fun of The Ultimate. So let's see the rankings here. Alex P. in first place at 974 points. Ryan from MKE in second at 972 points, just 2 points behind. Holden in third place at 860 points. Everybody else, EB, kind of in the 500, 400 range. There are a bunch of people in 300.
And it is important to remember that the point value is changing as we go along with these questions. That was question 6. It was worth 500 points.
Yeah, so now we're moving up into more points here. Or actually, I think this question number 6 is also 500 points. But remember, the last 2 questions, people will get to wager as many points as they have. And really jump ahead if they want. So keep that in mind as we start.
And that's like Jeopardy strategy. You have to know. Even if you're the leader, you have to know what's the safe wager.
Absolutely. Okay. So keep that in mind as we go to question number 6 here at The Ultimate. Question number 6. Which Disney Imagineer never appeared on Coaster Radio? Was it A, Kathy Magnum, B, Joe Rohde, C, Dave Minichello, or D, Tracy Nose? Do you remember those CPD? Yeah, I know like one is famous. Yeah, one is famous, but all the others kind of working behind the scenes. You might not know those names.
I feel pressure to answer quickly because of the points.
Yes, I know. That's
25 seconds ticking by right now, and I think I answered
too
fast because I'm trying to be quick.
Yeah, I know.
I think I got this one wrong.
Time's up. Let's see what people thought. 33% saying Kathy Magnum, 15% saying Joe Rohde, 31% saying Dave Minichello, and 21% saying Tracy Nose. The answer, of course, was A, Kathy Magnum, because Joe Rohde, Dave Minichello, and Tracy Nose all had been on the show before. In fact, Joe Rohde, one of the most infamous and I think one of the interviews that put the show on the map in the early days. So let's see where people are. Daniel F., not on the leaderboard up until now, at 1,148 points. So he must be one of those people who's listened to the show in its entirely recently, because that's how else would you know that? That's pretty good. Alex P. at 974 points, and Ryan, who's been on the leaderboard the whole time, at 972 points as well.
This is good. Okay, so that was a good Disney question, Mike. Do you know the rides they worked on, Mike? What did we talk to them about, those 3 that we did have on?
Dave Minichello, we talked to him about Toy Story Land. That's what he did.
Right.
Tracy Nose did the Incredicoaster at California Adventure. And of course, Joe Rohde talked to us about Expedition Everest. But Kathy Magnum, here's a fun story. I tried to get an interview with her when I was at Epcot for the Expedition Everest Media Day. But like her handlers like prevented me from doing that because we had just ridden it Soarin', and she was doing a whole press conference about it, and I was like, hey, I've got an extra question or two, and they're like, no, she's gone, and they like blocked me from her.
Sir.
Yeah, they blocked me from getting to her until she could escape. So
they formed a wall.
Yes, exactly,
Right.
exactly. I felt like
Cool.
I don't know if anybody's ever watched the show The Newsroom. It's like an Aaron Sorkin show that was like from 15 years ago. But watch that. There are a couple scenes like that made me feel like that because I got blocked. But I was trying to be a good journalist and get something for the show. It just didn't work. So
I'm doing good. I'm back up to 6th place, Mike. I got that one
all right. There we go.
go.
There we go.
Let's go.
All right. So here we go with the new point total as we go to question number 7 here at the Ultimate. For 750 points, how many roller coasters from Intamin open worldwide this year in 2025? A hard question. Is it A, 5, B, 6, C, 7, or D, 8? Again, this is a tough one, dude, because the answers are so close together.
Before the multiple choice was revealed, I had the number 8 in my head, but that seems like a lot of roller coasters, and so I hesitated. But then I was like, nah, it seems like Intamin's popping up everywhere. Go for it. Pick 8.
Yeah.
All right, we're counting down here. 0.
Yes,
that's it.
Pretty impossible to research this quickly, though. That's the thing. So let's see what people thought. Curious about this. We've got 18% saying 5, 49% saying 6, 26% saying 7, and 8% saying 8. The correct answer is 7.
Ooh.
Yes. 26% of the audience getting that right. How did that change the leaderboard?
That's going to change a lot.
It did. Ed C. got into first place. He's got 1,454. Kevin is next at 1,400 points, followed by Holden, who's hanging in there at 1,343 points. And look at that, EB. I mean, people still, here's what's interesting. Even people who are at the bottom of the list, they still have 500 points. That's enough to be thinking about wagering as we get into the last 2 questions coming up here. So.
There's absolutely the possibility that the last question is going to be something only you know, and everybody above you is going to get it wrong.
Yeah. So people are hanging in. It's important to keep playing. Yeah, it's important to keep playing, keep getting as many points as you can. Let's go to question number 8. This one also for 750 points here on the Ultimate. The first video podcast from Coaster Radio.
That's in quotation marks.
Yes, that's right. Previewed A, Patriot at Worlds of Fun, B, Goliath at Six Flags Over Georgia, C, El Toro at Six Flags Great Adventure, or D, the movie Final Destination 3. Yeah, do you remember doing all of those?
What did we preview? Did we preview the movie? Or did we preview one of those roller coasters? Okay.
Yeah. Which one? Because
video podcast from Coaster Radio previewed.
Yeah, we did all of these in season 1, and time is up. So, do you even, as a host of the show, do you know the answer to this? I'm curious. Which one would you have said?
I immediately went to, this is a trick question, and it's Final Destination 3.
Okay, let's see what everybody said here. 19% saying Patriot, 14% saying Goliath, 41% saying El Toro, and 27% going with you, EB, Final Destination 3.
Now, is this us just talking over the YouTube POV? Is that what you're counting here?
Each of these videos was a specific podcast that we recorded for video.
Yes.
And so even Final Destination 3 was a video podcast. It was done specifically for that. So it wasn't just audio from the podcast. It was a produced thing, just like the other 3. But the answer was Final Destination 3. That came first. Yes. The other 3 were the last 3 episodes of season 1. But the very first time we ever put video on the internet for Coaster Radio was that. Let's see what the rankings are. Tom from Louisville jumping ahead, 1,603 points, followed by Dale from Dayton at 1,530 and EB at 1,479.
Nice. I've cracked the top 3. This is nice. And I like seeing Dale and Tom up there.
Yes.
Been around for a while listening to the show. Good.
So that's you need to know the show, right? For a question like that. You have to go back and remember, like, oh yeah, they did Final Destination and then finish the others. So here's where we get into interesting things here at the Ultimate. It is time now for the final 2 questions. The point total for this is whatever you want to wager.
Okay.
And this is also a different style of question. For these last two questions, we're going to give you four parks or four items, but you actually have to move them into the order that the question asks for, and you'll see what I mean in just a second or two.
Oh, you have to so you're going to get 4 choices, and this is when, if you're listening to the podcast, it might be beneficial to watch it on YouTube.
Yes.
So we're going to get 4 multiple choice like last time,
Mm-hmm.
but now instead of clicking on the right answer, we actually have to drag and drop each of the 4 into the correct order. That's right?
That's right. Exactly.
And we're wagering our points here for question 9. If you get it wrong, I assume you lose those points.
Yes, exactly. That's
so
right. So
if you bet all of your points, you will have no points to wager for the 10th question.
That's right. So you got to think about that.
So now, that's important because I was like, I'm all in, right? But then if I get it wrong, I'm eliminated. So it might be safer to only bet a few points and then wait for the all in at the finale.
Good point. But here's what's going to make it easier for people
I'm
to
stressed.
decide. Because just like in the game show Jeopardy, they actually give you the topic, the category. So you sort of know what the question will be about, and then you can decide how many points to wager. And we are going to do that right now here on The Ultimate. The category is Six Flags Parks. And everybody's got 30 seconds right now to decide how many points they're going to wager on this question about Six Flags Parks.
In the top left of your screen, I see that's where you see your total score, the total points, and it's defaulting to half of my points. Mike.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know if I want to do half. Oh, I got to type it in. I'm running out of time.
Yeah, you got 10 seconds. 10 seconds.
Oh, crap. Oh, my gosh. I'm betting a lot.
Oh, my gosh. Here we go. This is interesting. So here we go. Put these Six Flags parks in order by the year they opened, starting with the earliest.
Feel good about this.
And we have Six Flags Over Texas, Knott's Berry Farm, Cedar Point, and Six Flags Fiesta Texas. So everybody's got about 20 seconds right now to move these around into the correct order, starting with the earliest one that opened and ending with the one that opened most recently.
Opened as no matter what, not as a Six Flags park. Like Cedar
That's
Point
right. Opened originally, not
originally
open. Yes, not open, not debuted as a Six Flags park, but opened their gates for the first time ever.
Ah, fudge!
Oh, there goes.
Okay, go! Ah!
Did you get it in, AB? Did you get it in?
I didn't. Did I not hit submit? Did I automatically lose because I didn't hit submit?
Oh, I don't know. I didn't see what you did on yours, but I hope you got it in. Oh no. Well, let's see. Here, just like before.
I probably got it wrong anyway. Put these parks in order by the year they opened. Six Flags Over Texas, Knott's Berry Farm, Cedar Point, Six Flags Fiesta Texas. Okay.
Yeah. Let's see what the most popular answer was from everybody who's playing right now. The most popular answer was Cedar Point, Knott's Berry Farm, Six Flags Over Texas, Six Flags Fiesta Texas. The correct answer.
That's what I answered.
That's what you answered?
Yes.
Let's see what the correct answer was. It was Cedar Point, Knott's Berry Farm, Six Flags Over Texas, Six Flags Fiesta Texas. Did you not click? Oh no,
I didn't click submit in time.
Oh.
Because I did a last minute, I flipped Cedar Point and Knott's at the very last second, and then I went to click submit, and I missed it. But I had the answer right, Mike, and I bet 1,000 points.
Oh no, well, that's all right. You probably still have some points. Let's see what the rankings are right now, and then you can see like how many you need on this next one. Holden M in first place with 2,686 points. Dale from Dayton in second place at 2,295 points, followed by Blue Diamond Coasters at 2,289 points.
I would be in second. I would have had 2,400 points. Mike.
Oh, still though, what if you had won?
This is it. This is what it takes to play the ultimate. Though you have to know your trivia about the parks, about the podcast, but you're also playing a game, and you got to play the game. And I did not play the game.
Yeah,
right there.
So let's take a look at the current player rankings. Holden is up there with around 2,600 points. Dale has 2,300 points. Blue Diamond Coaster is at 2,289. What do you think those guys should do? Should they bet just a couple hundred points? Should they bet the farm?
Well,
should they bet zero?
We're gonna share the category again.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And I am looking at this, and I think you got to be all in, right? Unless it's a category that you feel like somebody's gonna get it wrong.
Yeah. And, here's the thing, though. If they go all in and lose, that could bring somebody from the bottom up to the top. Who knows? So this is very tricky. The final question of the ultimate. Let's find out together what the topic is. The topic: Coaster Radio meetups.
See, I would have won the whole thing.
You're right, because you would have known, yeah.
I didn't lose. Okay, this is a good strategy thing. I did not lose my points because I didn't technically get it wrong.
Oh, okay.
I kept all of my points from the previous round. So that's a strategy. It's
there
just
you
don't
go.
answer. So now I can bet all of my points.
Oh, now see, and
I'm betting all 1,479 points.
You know Coaster Radio meetups too. So 5 seconds and we will find out what the question is. Here it is. Put these Coaster Radio meetups in the order in which they happened, starting with the earliest. We have Carowinds, Dollywood, Cedar Point, and Silver Dollar City. And you have to go back to what was the first one that we did? What followed
Feeling good
that?
about this.
Yeah. And these, by the way, aren't in the exact, order that they happened. There were some that happened in between. So you really have to know your Coaster Radio meetups. And
don't forget to hit submit.
Yeah, that's right. Hit submit. And this really benefits some of the people who are listening right now who have been to all of them. So this is interesting. Time is up. Let's see what the most popular answer was from the Coaster Radio audience who is playing the ultimate. Cedar Point, followed by Dollywood, followed by Carowinds, followed by Silver Dollar City.
All right,
and
good.
I think, let's take a look at the correct answer. That was it. We did Cedar Point first. I think Dollywood was second. Carowinds, I think we might have done Knoebels in between there and then Silver Dollar City. So that is it right there. Let's see, EB, who came in first on the ultimate. Tom from Louisville coming in first place with 3,806 points, followed by Kevin at 3,300 points, followed by UEB right behind him at 2,958 points.
I would have won the ultimate if I had clicked submit. Dang it.
You would have been the ultimate, but there it is.
I would have been the ultimate.
And how great is that? Tom from Louisville, longtime friend of the show, been on the show just as much as he's probably listened to the show. The voice of Bob the Lobster, the voice at our meetups of, introducing, doing the opening of the show. So a great first winner of round one here at the Ultimate here at Coaster Radio. Yes.
Yeah, well done, Tom. Yeah, Tom made a big bet there, 1,900 points.
Yes. Wow. So now what this means is that Tom from Louisville...
Holden got it wrong. I'm looking at the leaderboard. Holden bet 2,600 points and lost them all.
See, there were some people who had some guts, man. Some guts.
Yeah.
Now, here's what's great. Tom from Louisville will join us in December as one of the 5 participants in the final round of the Ultimate. But everybody else who played tonight and everybody else who was listening in the month of April, we're going to be playing round 2 of the Ultimate. So you will have another opportunity to play this game and join Tom in that final round.
Right, but of course, because Tom is the first of the 5 qualifiers, he does have a slight advantage because he can, get into shape for the physical challenges.
That's right. Those are coming up.
That are a part of the finale, right.
That's right. It's going to be like Double Dare, essentially, is what we're going to do. So.
Right. The finale is actually a cannonball run from Knott's Berry Farm to Dino's Wonder Wheel.
Yes. Did you ever see the movie Cannonball Run? That was great.
It's a real, that's what we're doing.
I love it. I like Cannonball Run 2 better, though, because it was goofier. But anyway, so thank you to everybody who joined us for round 1 here of the Ultimate at Coaster Radio. And congratulations to our first winner, Tom from Louisville.
Do you have what it takes to be the ultimate?
So there we go, EB. How do you think it went? I mean, that's round 1 of the Ultimate. There was a lot of technical stuff going on there because, we had not only to do the show and to act as the hosts of the game show, but we also had to run all of that video and the game show stuff and all the interactivity. Because the thing I like about it is that we had all those listeners who were actually playing on their phone and we were seeing the results come into the studio in real time. It was really kind of cool.
It was really cool and it was really fun. And I do hope that people who listened to this week's episode and were like, oh man, that did sound like fun. I could do better than those people did in that game. Well, you're going to have an opportunity in about 6 or 8 weeks where we're going to bring the game back every 2 months until the end of the year. And then all of the qualifying round winners, including Tom, are going to go head to head
Yes.
in the ultimate of the ultimates in December.
Yeah.
And that's going to be a lot of fun.
They're going to be live on the show. So actually everybody who wins those qualifying rounds, you'll actually hear them on the show. So it'll be different than what we're doing this time. So
Ooh, yeah. And I feel like we did have a lot of people. I want to see even more people next time that we play. There is a cap, but we didn't get close to the cap, Mike. And I want to fill up that room of players, the virtual room. And I think the people that played this week kind of will have a little bit of an advantage because yes, you can keep playing every single qualifying round. So now that you kind of figured it out and know how it works, you're going to get even better at it. So can't wait to have everybody back again. Somebody's asking in the chat room, when's it going to be? We're going to try and do them like every 2 months.
Yes.
That's the schedule. So sometime mid-April, thereabouts is when this is going to come back. So just pay attention and come back week after week anyway, because we do the live look-in every Wednesday at 9 p.m. and it's going to be on a Wednesday at 9 p.m. So just come back here to live.coasterradio.com every week. That's where you want to see you guys.
Yeah, and the important thing to remember is that we not only do game shows, but we also do interactive shows such as Hot or Not, which is coming up in a couple of weeks, maybe in like a month or so. But that's a fun episode where we give you something happening in the industry. So we might say wooden roller coasters, and you actually have to vote hot or not.
I like Hot or Not.
Yeah, so I love Hot or Not. It's so fun. So we usually have 50 topics, and then we give the audience a chance to vote, and it's really kind of interesting to see where people's mindsets are in the industry. So again, that's something where we want, a bunch of people in there to really get some good numbers. So I think that'll be fun.
So everybody's got their homework. Come back live.coasterradio.com week after week, Wednesdays at 9. Go to patreon.com/coasterradio. Support the show. You can join the Snail Mail Club where we'll send you stuff in the mail. We've also got the Birthday Club. We've also got access to the coasterradio.com Discord where we're going to be having conversations, no doubt dissecting this game and how it went there in the Discord all together. Find Coaster Radio everywhere that you can on socials, but especially on YouTube now. The YouTube podcasts has Coaster Radio. Go find it and watch us every single week. And Mike, I guess that's it. Do we just say thank you to all of our patrons now, especially those at the $20 level?
Yes, we want to thank Alex Payne, Brian Wackler, Chris Rankin, Cincinnati Nick, the sweatshirt guy, our friends at Club Z, the two bearded Coaster Chris's, CM Venom, Colton Toms, David Sakala, Dino, Grace, and John Brody.
Also John Brown, Josh Combs, Justin Padilla, Karen and Lee Howren, Kevin Wilson, Kyle Kiefer, our friends at Made to Thrill, Matt Walker, Michael Foucault, Paolo de los Reyes, Rich Barber, Rick Burnley, Shane Mankiewicz, our friends at the Thrill Nerds, and Tom from Louisville, and Zachary Carpenter.
And if you have been watching us on YouTube, if you've been watching us on Instagram, you probably have seen the brand new 20th anniversary Coaster Radio logo. Kyle from Lindner Design Company did a fantastic job kind of taking the old logo from 20 years ago, giving it a modern update while still paying tribute to the original that was designed all those years ago. If you want to hire him for something similar, head to Instagram at Lindner_design. And he specializes in branding, illustration, and small batch custom apparel. So thanks so much to Kyle for doing the logo for us this year.
I'm struggling with the bench here, Mike.
I see it coming together, though. I hear it coming together. Very cool. Bench the Ride, a 3D printed version.
It really is. It has all of the slats for the bench.
Yeah, and thanks to Becky for that. Becky created that, and we'll figure out where that's going to be. So that if you guys have 3D printers and want to download it and have one yourself, you can do it. Yeah.
I need to sit down at a table.
I know. Look at that. I like it. It's like a little puzzle. That's cool.
All right. Cool. All right, man. This is great. Great episode of Coaster Radio. Everybody, thanks for joining us, and we can't wait for the next Ultimate. What's next week? Are we talking to to Nick?
Nick Hudson. Nick Hudson is next week. A big, long interview with Nick Hudson talking about his trip to Dubai, I believe, but also learning a little bit about all the music that he creates for parks worldwide. So good show coming up next week as well.
You've been listening to Coaster Radio, the original theme park podcast. To learn more about the show and hear hundreds of episodes from the archives, visit our website at coasterradio.com. This is your announcer, Neil Patrick Harris. Thanks for listening. Peace out, suckers. Coaster Radio is a production of Lift Hill Media, LLC. Audio and video from this program may not be broadcast, edited, or reproduced without our express written permission. Copyright 2025, all rights reserved. This was all done in one breath.